I'm sorry. Did you guys watch Devilman Crybaby? Because somebody got eaten by a nipple, and that's all you made me think.
What the hell? Oh.
Well, this is all getting recorded, by the way. That is now on posterity. So you want to intro the episode, or do you want to talk? All right, go for it.
Welcome to Discovering Discovery, episode number, I don't know. What's past is Prologue.
It's episode 13 of the series, 12 of this podcast, and the episode is, in fact, titled The Past is Prologue.
And
The Past is Prologue.
And for those of y'all who don't know what the hell this is where we...
Struggle.
What's past is Prologue.
And
I was correct.
Begin to discuss about what we learned about Star Trek Discovery, what we
watch
liked,
an episode, we tell you what we like, what we love,
what
was
loved,
awful, what was complete garbage,
and our commentary.
And what possibly needed a really strong story editor.
And this is John Quick.
And this is Greg Payton.
And I'm Megan Washington.
And as always, this is a spoiler warning. Of course, if you're 12 episodes in and you don't realize that there is a spoiler warning in effect, I don't know what to tell you. But I guess if you're just joining in right now, aren't you happy I gave you that spoiler warning?
There's also spoilers for Game of Thrones and for, I guess, for the original series if you're not familiar with Khan.
And some cameos with, Lord of the Rings and
there is a Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's not
Quantum
really a
Leap
spoiler.
mentions. And I said cameo. No,
and Doctor Who. There was a Doctor Who rant
if
here
you're
in this
sensitive
Star
to
Trek
Doctor
show.
Who rants, maybe turn back now.
Whovian fans, turn away now. We don't want to get violent.
Or direct your hate mail to
John Quick.
Thank you, guys. You know what? We learned a lot with this episode. I think we learned a lot about the plot drive.
Special effects artists are not paid anywhere near enough.
We learned that clearly they can bring it.
Foley guys really need to get like their own Oscars.
Bring the production value. They let Michelle Yeoh cut loose.
And yet again, the plot drive. We learned a lot about the plot drive.
That there is no plot, only events tied together by characters and experiences.
And emotion.
And a lack of emotion.
However irrational.
Shallow emotion.
However misguided.
But I think that's
well-meaning.
But I think it's time. Shall we hit Warp 9?
No.
Do it.
We have to engage the spore drive.
Going to Warp 9. Engage. Welcome back to Discovering Discovery. So
we've survived.
Yes, we survived the mirror universe. Lorca's coup eventually failed.
Hey, spoilers.
We're already into the goddamn episode, and you're calling spoilers?
Look, we haven't gotten to that part yet.
Well, okay, that's the main crux of what we're going to be talking about. And
he doesn't fail till the end of the episode.
Well, that's true.
He failed gloriously.
He failed miserably. It was embarrassing.
Megan, as you can tell, did not much enjoy this episode.
Look, there's things that I enjoyed about it.
I love this episode.
Here's what I loved about it.
Absolutely loved it.
Shut up, Greg. Here's what I loved about it.
Absolutely loved it. Everything about it.
I loved the visual effects team was on point.
Okay.
All right. The sound effects team was on point.
Okay.
They threw in some key sounds, some true Star Trek sounds. The sound
not that sound.
No.
Not that sound.
You'd actually be surprised. I've been when I was listening to the other episodes, you can't actually hear it on these mics. The sound he's referring to is my garage door
fourth wall
going up and down. That is the sound that you are not hearing.
Okay,
although we are.
Hang on. I was talking. Okay, so I love the visual effects.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
You said that, and the sound effects.
Sound effects are great. The score was beautiful.
Yes.
There was some decent camera work in this one.
Beyond decent. It was the best directed episode of the season.
Story was awful, but it looked nice.
Greg, your thoughts on the story?
far as the story goes, I feel like it was definitely emotionally based. All of
It wasn't
everyone's
though, because we felt nothing. We
motivations.
cared nothing about any of these people.
But what they were doing and why they were doing it remained consistent, especially with Burnham. Now, Lorca being
No, it didn't.
obsessive, that kind of came out of left field.
Here's the
Not
thing,
quite
Greg.
sure why
You
that
have
happened.
this, like,
However, with all that being
Che
said,
Guevara,
you
we'll
have
call him.
this so-called coup that failed, and you have Michael Burnham basically doing what we knew she was going to do from the get-go.
Be
She was going to
awful?
try and save Giorgio.
Murder lots of people and then not kill the one person that she actually needs to kill.
We knew that was going to happen, though.
Look, here's the thing.
How
Here's
was
the
that
thing,
not going to
Greg.
happen?
Think
We
of it
knew
this
that was
way.
going to happen.
Lorca is like some sort of revolutionary, right? Che Guevara type.
To what end? He was about to
Hang
be the
on.
same asshole.
No, you don't. Hang on.
Kind of Stalin-y. I don't know.
No, here's the thing. Okay, we don't know. We literally don't know anything about this universe.
Well, other than the Terrans are basically space Nazis.
Besides the fact that they're super like human only, we know nothing about them. Okay, but hang on. Okay, so we don't know that Lorca has any different opinions about that, right?
Well, we kind of know that he was more than willing to
know-
work with non-humans, considering how well he managed
Exactly.
to captain the Discovery. Okay, I'm starting to come around to your side a bit.
You seeing what I'm talking about here? Okay,
Yes.
so Lorca was overthrowing the government,
Mm-hmm.
willing to work with non-humans,
Yes.
had not only loyal followers, but people who literally put up with a year of torture and then welcomed him back with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. All true.
Michelle Yeoh was Space Hitler, the ate Saru's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at that?
Look, I'm just saying, I feel like I need more info because I don't, like, despite the fact that he was kind of creepy, like, creeping on Michael Burnham,
Yeah.
which, I mean, we can look at that through a different lens if you want to, because in his universe, they fell in love, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Like I
We
think it's
only-
like you
we
called.
only
You
have-
said it was creepy and obsessive, and I said it could be dedication.
Yes.
No, but here's the thing, because I was thinking
Okay.
about this, right? According to Michelle Yeoh's character,
Yes.
he, quote, stole her daughter.
Yeah.
His daughter, quote, ran off with an evil person,
Mm-hmm.
right? What if Michael Burnham hooked up with Lorca and was like, oh my God, maybe I was following the wrong path. Like, maybe Michael Burnham was a Nazi, and then she, like, realized that she shouldn't be a Nazi, and then her Nazi mom was like, she left the fucking Nazis, man.
So she stopped being a Nazi and became a different kind of Nazi.
We don't know. We don't know anywhere near enough about Lorca's character.
A Nazi.
We don't know. We don't know anywhere near enough about the backstory of the revolution of any of it. Okay, Lorca could have been like the stand-up dude in his universe who's trying to overthrow the evil government and bring balance back to the universe, right?
I mean,
Him and Michael Burnham could have fallen in love, and then she like got murdered, and he ended up in this other universe, and like, oh my God, there's my girlfriend, and then she's not actually his girlfriend, but then he can't help it because he falls in love with his girlfriend because he already did once. I'm just saying, there's nowhere near enough information for us to know exactly what's going on. It
Right.
could go either way. He could be
Right.
creepy stalker dude who like, which in this one we found out that he didn't make himself jump into the other universe.
Mm-hmm.
So that throws out creepy stalker, my girlfriend died, so I have to go to this other universe and kidnap her.
Okay.
That throws that out because we find out that he accidentally gets pushed into this other universe.
yeah, that's true.
Right? There was a massive transporter accident, so we don't know that he's the one that actually killed the crew on the other ship. Could have
That was not confirmed, right?
That was not confirmed. So that could have been part of like this massive accident that accidentally threw him into this universe.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been completely coincidental that that entire crew died. He could have just not killed them. We don't know any of that now. They just poked fucking holes in everything, man.
That is really true. I did know the entire time that I was watching it is like, why are we rooting for her to team up with Space Hitler?
Right?
It's not like Michelle Yeoh was a like kind of stand-up
No,
individual
she was a shitty
in this
person.
universe. No, she was literally Space Hitler.
The only thing she had going for her is that in the other universe she was Philippa Gregory.
Jojo.
Whatever. I don't know where that name came from.
Philippa Gregory. Well, you got it
That's
right
a novelist,
with the G.
right?
Probably.
Look, I'm really like There's a lot going
You've
on
been
right
eating
now.
too much corn. That's what
Maybe.
I'm saying.
That's all the fucking corn.
It's a minor allergy,
Fucking
okay?
corn allergies going to the brain. Shit.
There's
Like-
no proof that allergies affect brain function.
I'm really,
I really
happy.
wanted popcorn.
I'm really happy that we explained that, because otherwise anybody listening to it is like, what? Why is it bad that she
Why
ate
is-
corn?
What kind of fucking tangent did you guys take us on?
Look, man, it's not my fault.
So
I'm just saying, they poked holes in everything. So there's literally no reason for Michael Burnham to have sided with Michelle Yeoh besides the fact that, like, there's no reason.
Well,
She's
the
Space
reason.
Hitler.
Well, no, the reason why Michael
The
Burnham
reason
did
was
it.
you looked like the person that used to be
That's
my mentor.
that's
literally it.
essentially what it is. Like I miss my doppelganger, or I'm sorry, I miss my mentor. So I'm going
And she didn't
to
even spend any time with her.
apply my. I'm going to project my emotions of me missing my mentor
gonna-
to fix a mistake I made, to then try and basically reform this doppelganger. That's essentially what she's doing right now.
Right. It's a completely different person. They just look the same.
Oh yeah, she won't accept that. I mean, that's just. I mean, her logic
She's
will
been
not
around
allow
her for all
her
the
to
5
accept
minutes.
that.
and I can
Yeah.
and I can be okay with all of that except for fucking Space Hitler.
She's done nothing to make her seem like a person we're saving in this.
But she's also done nothing to make me seem like, okay, well, she
Yeah.
she ate the doppelganger version of Saru, I think.
You know
Well,
why, Greg? Terrible writing. Had they actually spent some time in this universe, had we actually gotten to know any of the backstory, had we had the chance to like develop an opinion for ourselves over who was like the evil one and not.
Considering
They were there for all of a day.
but considering what's happened with this mirror universe, honestly, I could have stood to watch an entire season of them, and I think
Yeah, but you
quick,
know
I think
what? We
quick,
would've
you, I
actually
think quick,
gotten
you even
story then.
suggested this. What would happen if they were like ping ponging different universes,
'cause
almost like a Quantum Leap?
Like Quantum Leap, yeah.
Well,
And honestly, I would have legitimately loved to see even more of that, just because I don't know. It's one of the things that it's both something that Star Trek has never done before, but it's entirely Star Trek of going where someone has not gone before, of trying to explore new civilizations or even just doppelganger versions of civilizations you know.
Yeah, which would be an interesting turn, but as we can see with the preview to next week's episode, they are going to we're going to keep on going with this whole Klingon war thing, which they're going to have to retcon out of existence.
Unless they try and undo it, and
No,
they
because
end up doing that quantum leap thing that you were
because
talking
eventually
about.
they're going to go back in time and wipe out this entire timeline. So they've already established the fact that nothing matters in this.
Themselves, my guess is they're gonna. I get a feeling that they're gonna sacrifice themselves.
So you're going to realize the only way to fix it is to make Discovery have never happened.
Yeah, I think so. I have a strange suspicion that they're going to make the ultimate sacrifice, and I'm legitimately down to see it. I mean, that's one way to go out.
I mean, I really wish they didn't like telecast it this hard. Like we're going like that's it goes beyond foreshadowing and just flat out tells you. It would be like someone in the first season of Game of Thrones, and I guess spoilers for people who don't watch Game of Thrones.
Or
I'll
who-
give you the
or-
next 5
or
seconds.
Who haven't read a book that came out like what 20 years ago?
Yes. It'd be kind of like somebody in the book signing up to like Tyrion
No,
Lannister
here's
and
what
going
it's like,
and
John
going.
Quick. Here's
and,
what it's like.
Okay.
It's like casting Sean Bean as Ned Stark and having people expect for him not to die.
That's a good, not as bad spoilery thing as I was going to go with. So let's run with that.
Dear Star Trek fans, please just Google what just happened in the last
They
5
don't-
minutes. Don't worry, it's okay.
They shouldn't need
You'll
to.
catch up. It's fine.
Okay, but let's now almost 11 minutes. Actually, no, totally past 11 minutes into this discussion. Let's kind of take everyone through the sequence of events. So Lorca Freeze's crew.
Wait, hang on. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Senior Space Messiah returning to his people.
Yeah, that's
Pseudo
true.
Messiah. He hasn't done anything to be a Messiah.
You know
yet.
what, Greg?
He hasn't.
We don't know.
He hasn't.
We don't know what he's
so
done.
why are you gonna call him a Messiah? You
We
can't-
don't know.
He's done nothing.
Well,
He's
he
Yeah.
did die and come back. I mean, it was
Exactly.
But he didn't,
past
Exactly.
3
turn, he didn't
days.
turn water into wine.
He
He
ra-
can't walk on water.
You don't
Well,
know.
we haven't seen enough water to
So
say
then why
that.
you gonna call him
Look,
Messiah?
we
There's
don't
no
know.
proof.
Greg, we don't know. We've been in this universe for maybe a
So
week
you're-
and nobody's
so
talked
you're
to anybody.
speculating he's a
it's-
Messiah.
It's very possible Lorca can walk on water. We just don't know.
He's
We haven't
vaporized
explored
now,
this universe yet.
so we'll never know. He is vapor.
Exactly, because shitty writing. That's why we don't know, and we will never know.
He got his ass owned and
It was
skewered.
bullshit. You know what's bullshit? Hey, look, here's the moon door, but I'm not going to use it. Oh, it's okay. They're going to throw him out of it later in the episode. It's the worst. Like, if that was there the entire time, you'd be like, oh my god, what about that moon door we saw in the first episode when Michael Burnham first showed up to this place? Oh, wait, no, never mind. She's only been here for 2 episodes. Remember last episode when she showed up and there wasn't a moon door, and now there is a moon door, but we're only showing it to you so that you know that he's going to fall out of it in the end?
He was never in that room before, though.
Yeah, but Burnham was.
But no, they had never gone in that lab. That was the lab.
The
They had
moon
never
door
gone-
wasn't in the lab.
The moon door was in the throne room.
the throne room.
It was in the
Yes.
throne room.
Oh, okay.
We've been in the throne room. The throne room is one of 2 rooms that we've seen in this place. Besides,
Okay.
like, there's the lab, there was the dinner room,
Right.
and then there was the throne room. And the, like, random
Bridge?
hallway.
Wasn't it like a bridge?
No, it wasn't a
long-
bridge. It was a throne room. It's where
Okay.
she spun around in her, like,
Okay.
organ chair that had
Right.
the pipes.
Yes.
Okay? They literally put that in there just so they could throw him out of it later. That was dumb. That was some stupid shit.
And then moving past that, so Lorca
Okay, so Lorca's freeing his people.
Lorca freezes people, and then
They're just like, we knew you weren't dead. Much like someone would say to a messiah, just throwing it out there.
Done nothing to prove it. Nothing to
He
own
came
it.
back from the
Nothing
dead,
to
Greg.
deserve it. Nothing.
Nobody deserves anything in this, okay? Nobody earns anything.
I wonder if I could get past the first story beat. It's
No.
gonna
Look, this episode was really gorgeous. The special effects were amazing, okay?
The fight scenes were the best. Like really, 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 really
You
good.
could really see that they're trying to make everybody look semi-competent.
Legit. I mean, seriously. Like fire and flames was nice.
There's some good
And then
special
after
effects.
freeing his people, he goes inside the laboratory to Mirror Universe Stamets.
Okay,
Mhm.
which, by the way,
Yes.
at no point does it explain why the fuck he needs alternate universe Stamets.
I think
Can you,
it's
can you
I
guys
guess
explain
his
to me why he needs them?
security clearances
My guess
or
is
something.
his brains for getting through shit.
No, because he has literally nothing to do with security on the station.
Well, he needed him to use
know why he
the
needed him?
bioweapon.
Because he didn't need the bioweapon.
Well, yeah, he did. He needed to wipe out most because he said that there were 10 legions on that ship.
You know how many people we saw die? Like 2.
No. We saw at least a dozen people die when that gas was released.
Make a note, guys. 10 legions, at least a dozen. Same thing.
Well, I think I don't think they were gonna take us through. It's
But
like, and
conveniently-
here's all
no,
10,000
here's-
assholes.
Here's where
No,
that's
they
here's where
weren't.
that's some more bullshit. Okay.
Okay.
Lorca didn't get all of his people into like one hangar and gas the rest of the station.
Mhm.
He just like gassed some of it and then conveniently left Giorgio alive. Like
Well, I guess the throne room would
he's like,
have
I don't know where
precautions
I
against
don't know
that.
where Michael Burnham is, but I'm gonna make sure that she doesn't die, just in case. I don't know where she is though. Like, hello.
So you're questioning the geography of how this gas was
Yeah. We never see a scene where it gets cleared.
projected.
We don't see a scene where he's like, oh, it's Michael Burnham's in the throne room, so I can't gas the throne room. Like, we don't, like, none of that.
So it's just cut
like,
to
you know what? Doesn't
release
matter.
gas, kill people, moving on.
Yeah.
No explanation.
No.
You might be being a little bit pedantic with that. I'm willing to let that one go.
Yeah, I mean, I never sat back and said, I wish you would have explained how it didn't hit. I never had
or
that.
if, like,
I never had that
Michael
desire
Burnham
in my
was
mind.
looking at a screen being like, oh my god, he's killing everyone.
But I once again, I sit back and I
Even
wonder.
Galaxy Quest had a scene where they were dying without oxygen.
Would
okay?
I need to see that scene? I had no desire.
You know why you
for
don't
it.
need it? Because you don't give a shit about anybody on that. You don't care about anybody on the station. You've seen 2 rooms on this entire station. You don't have a walkthrough to be like, these are my people. Like, you don't see anybody. As far as you know, the station has 3 rooms.
That's a big ass ship for 3 rooms. It's like a citywide ship.
There's no stakes. You don't care. You don't
Well,
go, oh my God.
no. The stakes in the episode were that if they don't stop this empire from doing their fucking mega death weapon, that it would destroy the mycelial network and
Basically,
destroy the multiverse.
The existence of the ship was killing the mycelial network. As
Yes.
we found out, that giant thing in the center that we all assumed was a star, or at least I assumed was a star, actually is not. It is a massive ball of energy that is basically being generated by the mycelial network to power the giant, super weapon, which is basically.
Do they have a giant super weapon though? Because it never comes up before now.
Well, they said that apparently it can destroy a planet. That ship itself is like both a capital class vessel
And a Death Star.
Palace and a Death Star.
You know, it would have been great.
To see it being used.
What?
Yeah, you know.
Well,
if Michael Burnham would have known literally any of that, because she didn't. None of that. How did any of them know that? They didn't.
You know what? We've
You know
already
what the
said
people
that the
of
show
Discovery
runs
knew?
on.
Nothing.
You know that we already know that the show does not run on the spore drive. It runs on the plot drive. The plot drives this. It drives it hard, whether it wants to go there or not. We know that the plot drives. The
They're like,
plot
"You
is
know
driving
what?
this goddamn thing.
I know we didn't set any of this up, but we're just gonna put it in there now, and people will go with it.
Yes,
Cool.
and they're not 100% wrong. Just gonna point that out. Plot drove away.
The plot is gone. The plot left like weeks ago.
So we find out that piece of information on the Discovery, which
But
we
how, John?
Stamets says the thing. Stamets could also have
Well,
gotten the
also
information.
too, I think he got the information from the previous episode from his now dead boyfriend, but one boyfriend that he learned from in one of his mycelial dreams, that the consequence of the Empire taking over the mycelial network was causing all this damage. So we did learn that from him the previous episode, which bled over into this one. So we did know the stakes growing from those
We learned
episodes.
that it was killing the mycelial network, which would make it impossible for him to jump back. We didn't learn that killing the mycelial network would therefore.
But
what
he
is it?
did
Destroy
say
life as we know it.
Well, he
quote,
he did say that it was killing everything. So
How do you know it was
it would
killing
kill
everything?
everything because he said so, and because he showed the spores forming on his forearm and like him slowly dissolving.
Because
Like,
plot.
he did-
That's
did-
why.
I'm sorry.
No. They
No,
did show
they
that.
haven't explained any
no,
of
they
this.
did show that.
They haven't explained any of this, Greg. We don't
No,
know
they
how
didn't-
this
no,
affects
they
the
didn't
universe.
spell it
okay,
out.
it's not like
No,
dark
they-
matter
no,
or
they
something.
didn't
We have no
spell it
idea what it
out.
does.
So they did not spell it out
bullshit.
implicitly, but they did mention it at least twice in the previous episode and in this one.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, okay.
It's fucking shenanigans. They just pulled it out of their ass.
I think what you're talking about is plot drive. The plot drive just went right through this, drove straight on through, right on plot drive. Anyway, I kind of, as we're doing this, I kind of want to, start our own show that involves a ship that runs on the plot drive.
Look,
I think it's called Doctor Who, and it's a TARDIS for the most part. I think the TARDIS runs on that. But I'm pissing off multiple fan bases
Look,
right now. What the
man.
fuck am I doing? Anyhow,
don't come after the Whovians, okay?
I am a goddamn Whovian.
They will make you disappear.
They will find you.
Oh, come at me. They'll
Don't say that.
lose.
They
They'll
will
lose hard.
They will pull a fucking Scientology on you.
John Quick will just disappear. We'll show up
disappear.
next week to tape, and he'll just be gone.
Like, where's Quick?
I'll take on all those assholes. I don't even bet that they've watched any of the original Doctor. Tell me a second Doctor tale that is not Tomb of the Cybermen, assholes.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
The Whovians do.
Touche.
There we go. And now
can't
that
say
I've
on
literally angered half the internet, let's continue on.
To the episode.
back to the fucking episode.
Oh, God.
Okay, wait, where are we?
I don't even know.
Oh,
We talked about.
Here you go. Nobody
Okay.
shows any adverse effects to being in the torture chambers for literally a year.
That is true.
That is the one thing I was very curious about. Why is
Lorca
no
got
why
an
is no
outfit
one
change.
why
We
is
don't
no
know
one
where Lorca's
crazy and
outfit change
crippled
happened. Everybody's perfectly sane despite the fact that they've been like
and battle ready?
had their nervous
Yeah, they
systems
have a-
like shattered.
They have a
for
huge
year.
shootout against the Empress's
Okay,
forces.
here's the other thing.
I love
Yeah.
this shootout. That was a vicious shootout.
The special effects were great.
That was
Yes,
vicious.
you have stated this.
That's all I
Repeatedly.
Okay.
Okay, here's the thing. You have the two most arguably tactical minds in the entire universe
Yeah.
have like a shootout in a fucking hallway
Essentially.
Yeah.
where everybody dies.
Yes.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Shit happens. This is war.
No, it was a terrible shootout.
Listen. Oh, see, are
The
you
effects were great.
so you're judging your Messiah for making a bad call?
I didn't say he was my Messiah. I said that it's possible that in this universe he is a Messiah. We don't know because we don't know shit about the universe, so we can't say. It's kind of like everything that isn't a potato is not a potato. So like Greg, you are technically like, what is that saying? It's something like that.
I'm
I
Everything
don't know
not
is
where
following.
the fuck.
It's like
All right.
somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Somebody out there, please go into the comment section after you've calmed down from
Explain
my
this.
Doctor
Explain
Who
that shit.
rant and explain it
this
to us.
potato shit, please.
There's some funny saying about everything. Either look that's besides the point.
Dear God.
Hey, you know what? Plot drive. Anyway, so moving forward.
I'm just saying,
Yes.
dude used to rock around the station.
Okay. Yeah.
He's been gone for less than a year,
Yep.
Yes.
right? In this year, they assumed he was dead, so there's no reason for them to make significant tactical upgrades that he wouldn't know about.
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, he should know everything that's on in that hallway.
Well, not necessarily because we don't know how long his coup went on for. So
That's one thing they did explain.
how long? Like,
They said he pieced out like a year ago, and they rounded up everybody right after.
well, yeah. So we know that. Well, how long did his coup? We don't know when his. We know it was when his coup failed, which was over a year ago. But we don't know how long he was running his revolution for, because he had to have screwed her over, and the fighting had to have lasted at least a few months. And in that time, I guess she could have upgraded the security.
You know what? We'll never know. Because they don't tell us shit about this universe.
I think you may be demanding a bit more than what is needed.
I'm expecting too much. I'm
You-
expecting too
In
much.
this particular circumstance, I think he kind of is.
Yeah.
Look, if it can't be a good Star Trek show, it could at least be a good show.
Well, according to Greg, it achieved that at least in this episode.
I legitimately enjoyed everything I saw. I mean, obviously.
Sorry for throwing you under the bus.
I mean, obviously, you know, Lorca got owned pretty hard by basically dying by his own.
He was hoisted by his own petard.
Yeah, I mean, he basically got 86th by his own joke, which I enjoyed seeing. I mean, this
He
was
was stabbed in the back by the world's dullest sword.
arguably one of the best uses of just A-grade special effects of watching him dissolve painfully.
The special effects look great.
Watching the poison gas, the misleading gas kill everyone or whoever was in this
Just saying,
path.
they upped the budget on this one. It looks good.
The fight scenes were legit. I mean, definitely they invested in making all of that work. It was really just amazing to watch. I watched the show now.
Helps when you also have Michelle Yeoh, who is obviously very well trained in stage combat.
She's a trained martial artist. I mean,
that foot came out of nowhere.
I mean that.
Yeah.
No, I mean like she still got it.
Look,
I'm
if
fucking
I
lying.
die right now
Yeah.
while trying to explain to Greg why this episode sucked, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, you say you're getting a migraine trying to explain to me what?
Now, if she dies trying to explain this episode to you,
Oh, okay.
she's going to be very upset. So the end goal runaround that we
Look,
find
hang
out
on,
is
hang on.
oh
We have to also give props to the fact that the Discovery continues to run even when the entire bridge crew is in the mycelial like transport room.
It's called autopilot.
Okay. We haven't established that the computer can do that. You know why? Because we don't focus on any of that. Okay, we don't know what the Discovery
It can do site-to-site transports, though, teleports, though.
We don't know.
We've seen that. No,
They
yeah, we have.
barely established the rules on that. Okay.
No, we saw that. He
Look,
did that.
Look.
Episode 2 or no, episode 4. He did that.
Really, the episode where they couldn't beam back a dead body.
That was episode 2.
Lorca,
Much like when they were able to,
literally,
much like when they're able to beam
teleport.
back Michael Burnham and Michelle Yeoh, but they mysteriously appear on different transport pads.
That definitely is a continuity error. They should have been
bullshit.
No, that's a continuity error. They should have been.
You know
on
what
the
they
same
call
pad.
continuity errors, Greg? Some bullshit.
And it shouldn't have happened. No, I agree. I completely agree. They should have been on the same exact path.
No, they shouldn't have been able to.
And
Going by the rules that they quote set up with their universe, they should not have been able to get her back.
That they were when she grabbed her.
Not according to the rules of this universe.
So
they couldn't get her until she opened up her communicator.
Which she did.
They couldn't track her signal until she opened up the communicator.
Which she did.
They should have lost her signal as soon as she closed the communicator.
When did she close it?
Like, what are you talking about?
When did she close her communicator?
They still would have been able to grab Michelle Yeoh. That's not how it works.
So another thing that happens in this episode, at the end of all of it, Michael Burnham decides that she needs to save Space Hitler.
So desperately trying to keep this like everything.
Something in semblance of like actual flow.
You just
yes.
skipped like half the story.
Yeah, well, fucking. So we apparently have done that too. So yeah.
Well,
you missed the part where Michael Burnham turns into a hacker and confuses her location so that they can't track her and murder her in the hallway.
Too, and the cliff notes is that Saru finally becomes a captain that we've all kind of hoped he'd become. Takes charge. I did. I mean, Doug Jones, man.
We hadn't set up that he wasn't the captain that we thought he could be.
No, but legit. I mean, like he steps up. He takes control. He really owns the captain's chair. Rallies everyone together, and they're able to save Michael Burnham and get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah. I'm just trying to fill the silence right now.
I'm not saying anything.
So
I have opinions, man. They're apparently unpopular.
But our the two main points that we have not gone over is one.
The bridge crew got some dialogue.
They did, yes.
I still don't know what their names are, but they did in fact speak, and that was great.
Cyborg girl, now Dreads Mohawk girl no longer has the mohawk, but she still got the dreads.
She's kind of got she's got it like a fade, like an undercut.
And there's new dude.
No, he was there before Random Asian Guy.
Yeah. Okay, Random Asian Guy.
Yeah, he was there.
Well, they also had a bunch of extras that we've never seen before.
Confirming that the Discovery does in fact have more than 5 people on it.
And then Tilly got rid of her character development here.
She did. She took time in the middle of all of this to stop and give it a wash.
I guess a very thorough one because it's no longer. I don't know how hair straightener works and how it unworks.
You get it wet, John.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop looking at my head.
We've been down we've been down this road before, John. Quick, let's not go down this road. This just doesn't end well for anyone.
I'm just saying she had time to do a little washy wash.
Okay.
Couple hours.
And got all of the blonde dye out.
Changed her uniform. You know.
As you do.
As you do.
As one does. Even though the rest of the bridge crew was still in their Terran Empire stuff.
Yeah, man, we don't know how far. Like, maybe everybody else was working until he realized that she was literally just an ensign or cadet. She's not even actually whatever. Doesn't matter anymore.
I guess she's still not an ensign. She is still a cadet.
I think I would have given her like an infield. I think I would have given her an infield combat promotion right then and there. I was like, all right, fuck all this cadet shit.
You know who was a cadet the entire time until they went off to the academy?
Wesley Crusher?
Acting ensign Wesley Crusher.
Oh, balls.
Do you want to get into it, Greg? Because I can get into it. Battlefield promotion, my ass. I'm just saying.
Crusher.
I'm just saying.
Will Wheaton, we love you.
So
don't you knock Will Wheaton, man.
So in addition to having to kill Lorca...
Megan owes you that picture from the selfie she took with you.
Yeah.
Look, I have to find a charger for my flip phone. That was a long time ago.
Good Lord.
Do you really? And you know what? Maybe we should talk about the episode. Here's a fresh new take.
We were talking about Tilly's character development here.
That's true.
But
They need to take down the containment field that's around the mycelial orb in
we
order
won't talk
to
about the fact
blow
that
it
there's
up.
no way they should know that there is a containment field around the mycelial orb. but
We are
continuing-
plot driving right past that, okay?
Or the sweet drive-by they did.
Well, yeah, that made no sense. They did like a double loop for whatever reason
looked
past.
good.
Yeah, but all it did was give the Chiron or Charon or Charon, however the hell you're supposed to pronounce that thing, more time to potentially lock on and fire on them. Except for
Why
they didn't.
did they not fire at them?
Because got ragdolled security girl from Prime Universe is Mirror Universe self is equally incompetent.
We don't know. We didn't spend enough time with her. She was literally just being tortured for like 8 months.
I would have.
Her nerve endings were probably fried. She
I would
probably
have
couldn't
loved
feel
to
the buttons.
see
We don't know.
them going out guns blazing, just trying to fire the fuck everything at Discovery to try and stop it. That's probably the one thing
You know
I
who
was
did that?
missing from that
Nero.
scene. Who?
What do you mean who?
You said Miro?
Nero.
Oh, Nero.
Carl Urban.
Ah, yes. Oh yeah.
Might not have been. I always get his name. I always get them both mixed up because they're both from like New Zealand.
Wait, was it I thought that was Eric Bana for whatever
Eric
reason.
Bana. Thank you.
Eric
Ah, boo. Okay, I was like, I'm not
They're
seeing the.
both in Lord of the Rings.
I'm not
They're
seeing.
both in Star Trek.
I'm not seeing it.
They're both from down under.
Okay. Oh no, that's. Oh, are you mixing a koala with a kiwi? That's a mistake.
Look, man. I don't fucking know.
You better apologize.
I'm just saying, I get the names mixed up.
No, that I remember that scene from the Star Trek reboot.
Which don't get me on to why the
that
Star
was
Trek
fun.
reboot doesn't make sense.
Oh fuck all
We've
worked.
we've already heard.
Look, it's a good movie.
that
Doesn't
worked.
make any sense.
It worked.
You know what doesn't make sense, Greg?
Time travel. It worked.
No, Captain Kirk was born in Iowa.
Oh, have mercy. Oh god.
we have
Iowa. He shouldn't have been on the ship in the first place.
Temporal distortions
No.
fuck things up.
We
you don't
won't
like
go
it,
into
you don't
it.
like in Flashpoint when they talk about that. If you break the sound barrier, there's a sonic wave or a shock wave. You break the time barrier, there's a time wave.
Think that happens.
We're using DC Universe on this nonsense.
Yeah, that that happens.
Because goddamn plot drive. That's why I'm gonna
Sure.
I'm gonna run that meme into the ground.
Time boom. Sonic boom.
You know
Time
what
boom.
else? I don't believe it was established that Kirk's mom was in Starfleet. Okay. You know what was the first ship to have families on it?
What ship?
The Enterprise D.
All right.
There's no reason a pregnant woman should have been on that ship out in the middle of space.
You know what that sound was making? That was half of our audience doing a head table. Head table.
Look, but this is not what this episode is about.
No.
The episode is about riding the
That was
wave of the mycelial explosion. That's what it's
And
about.
getting the fuck out of Dodge, which was glorious.
And then we see Anthony Rapp apparently navigating the
Matrix.
the
It
mycelial
looked a lot
network.
like The
Anthony
Matrix.
Rapp owned this fucking episode. Seriously, up and down, up and down.
And then they appear out into the regular
They're
universe,
the Prime universe.
the Prime
They're-
universe, and it is 9 months after they left.
They
And
kind of
apparently-
overshot it a bit.
yes,
Theoretically, the
and
Prime Universe.
the Klingons have basically taken over all the things.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of wondering how they destroyed.
Because they were
the
literally
coffin ship.
destroyed when they left.
Yeah, well, they destroyed the coffin ship.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't deliver a way to apparently peer through the Klingon cloak, which we know that they were never going to do anyway. But like, it was Cole of House Core, got his shit totally wrecked, and I thought at that point he was basically leading the Klingon Empire.
Look, you know what, John?
What, Megan?
Plot drive.
Yeah, it totally was plot drive.
I'm just saying.
I know the rest of the hordes of the Klingons were not destroyed in that one battle. So
Horde?
hordes. Is it just horde?
Look, man. None of that shit makes sense. And you know what they're not going to do? Explain any of it.
No, of course not.
I honestly would have thought it would have been a lot better had they just left the Klingon War where it was, which was
No,
an
they're gonna
afterthought.
beat that horse until it's like
Yeah.
pulp.
And had them end up in an entirely new alternate universe, and then that's what the show was, is them jumping from different alternate universe to alternate universe, trying to find their way back to the prime universe. Like Sliders, only hopefully it doesn't get
that
super
show
weird.
doesn't age well.
It really doesn't.
It was the 90s, so yeah.
It's just don't go back and watch it. It'll
It was
ruin
that
your
nebulous
memories.
era of super baggy clothes and Jinkos and grunge.
It just doesn't age well.
Like just stepping out of grunge. It wasn't.
The effects were bad.
Yeah, but again, 90s. It was super 90s.
The whole Portal one night was crazy. Anyway.
We won't talk about it. You know,
Anyway.
it's a good show that involves lots of jumping around.
Quantum Leap.
Stargate,
Oh, there's also that.
right? I'm just saying, it's not like there's been lots of examples where something similar has proved to be very successful and given us quality television. Oh, no, wait, there totally was.
Well, I mean, they don't want to do anything episodic. They want to do serialized. And as we can see next episode, they're going to run into Admiral, hey, how did you get off the ship? And
You know what else
also
was
Sarek.
serialized? Stargate Universe.
That was?
It was.
How long did it run for?
3 seasons, I think
Yeah.
they got.
I think so.
Well, that's not exactly a winning record right there.
It also was it on standard
Sci-fi.
cable?
Sci-fi.
It was on Sci-Fi. I'm just throwing it out there, man.
So in the next episode, we learn that okay.
We learned that the Klingons won the war.
Yep. And somehow the Admiral is on edge. And
Admiral, I was in prison and dead last time you saw me,
and
is mysteriously
somehow
still alive and finds a
standing.
discovery in the middle of the
Yeah.
gap. Yeah. So
When
she
did
shows up.
when did they take her off the ship? Like, I seriously
She
missed that.
literally has been on the ship the entire time. But you know what? Fuck it, because hashtag plot.
Well, no, yeah, it totally was plot drive. I don't remember her leaving the ship.
No,
oh,
because
that's
they
right.
didn't go to
That's
the
right. She was
starbase.
on Discovery the entire time.
She was
So
on
this
Discovery the
whole-
entire time.
But
like
we
dead,
see her beam in with Sarek in the
Yeah.
preview for the next episode.
Oh boy.
right? Explain that one, Greg.
And now
I have to see the episode first, Megan.
and now they're
I can't
teaming
tell the
up-
future
And now they're teaming up with Space Hitler to fight the Klingons.
Yeah, because they don't know how to kill people because they're peaceful, and she knows how to kill people
because she's ruthless. Is that?
because she's Space Hitler. Luckily, who they rescued from the alternate timeline for no reason.
Well, no, it makes
It's like
sense.
that one time when they woke up Khan and didn't realize until later in the episode that he was Khan. Only they
Yeah.
know that he's Khan.
Well,
Okay, it's like if they went into that episode in the original series and they found the shuttle that had Khan on it and they realized before they woke him up, oh, hey, this guy literally took over Earth during, like, the eugenics war. Maybe we shouldn't wake him up. It's like that, except they wake him up anyway. And then they're like, oh my god, this turned out really badly. Who could have expected this?
Dun dun dun.
It's okay. Have you guys seen the original series?
I have seen that episode, yes.
Okay.
No.
Space Seed, Greg. It's
Yeah.
a great episode.
I have to see it.
It's fantastic. You get Dr. God, who was on that? There's so many good
Ricardo
people on it.
Montalban.
Ricardo Montalban was on it. Okay, he meets his wife on the Enterprise. She leaves with him.
That is true. One of the Enterprise ladies totally is just like, hey, you know what? I'm all about this fascism.
Look, he wasn't really like, I don't know if fascism is the right word.
I would
Ruth-
describe
We could go into
Ruthless
the eugenics war.
genocidal dictator?
No,
Neo Sapien.
We won't go into the eugenics war. Okay, that's an entirely separate episode.
Napalm Neo Sapien. Is that what you want?
There was no napalm. He took over a third of the world, man.
So mostly water.
They made him like the landmass.
Oh,
Look,
okay.
we're not going to go into it. We're talking about Discovery here and why it sucks. The special effects are great, though.
Again,
The score was on point.
I enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed what they did.
All right, let's let Greg have his piece because for the
Okay.
these past 40 minutes.
I'll stop stomping all over you, Greg. You can say what you like about the
I've said my
episode.
piece. No, I have already said it. Everything from what Georgia
Here's
did.
what I want. I
I
want
can
to be able
burn
to
'em.
see this episode through your eyes so I could see why you love it. I want to know.
You want to feel joy and happiness again?
I'm gonna know what it feels like.
I want to know what love is.
No, I don't know. I know seriously, but everything about this mirror universe and what they've been doing, and just the idea of just getting out and just saving the multiverse. There was just the confluence of various things that all seemed to work for me.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I would have loved had they actually done any of it.
I can pretty much agree to that. I do feel
They introduce really neat stuff and then don't tell you anything about it and then leave immediately and completely forget about it, and it's really frustrating.
Well, we do know that like now it is pretty much confirmed. A lot of people were thinking it's like, are they just going to go back in time and just completely undo the Klingon War? And as it turns out, yeah, that's totally what's going to happen.
What do you think?
But like there's all this cool stuff in like the parallel universe you don't get. Okay, you get Vulcans and Klingons and humans and like Andorians working together to like, it's like, oh, like there's all this cool stuff in this universe and we don't get any of it. We don't get any history on why Lorca is supposedly the evil one, even though Michelle Yeoh is obviously evil. Like we don't get any of that. Okay, nothing Michael Burnham does makes any damn sense. She's ridiculous. We don't know why Tilly is getting all this authority when she literally is outranked by everybody on the Discovery. Like literally everybody on the Discovery outranks her. Everyone. Yeah. Okay?
It's pretty close to it, yes.
I'm just saying. There's so much, there's like, you have a person that's like 90% like, is she an android or is she just like an alien? Like, we don't know. You know why? Because nobody's talked to her.
I mean, she looks cool.
She looks cool. We don't know anything about her.
We know that she's, you know...
That she looks cool, yeah.
Yeah, and she's android-y girl.
We don't know that she's an android. You know why? Because nobody's fucking talked to her.
I mean, I guess she wouldn't be an android because Data was the first android officer, so she'd have to be cyborgy.
Do we know that cyborgs are a thing?
Well,
no, because I'm pretty sure they're not.
Well, we saw cybernetic implant girl that was from the last ship. She's got the metal thing on the side of her head.
Is that a cybernetic implant? We don't know what that is. You know why? Because nobody's fucking talked to her.
I think Megan wants these things explained and will not rest until they're explained.
That's the thing, though. They're not going to explain any of it. And knowing that they're not going to explain any of this makes me even more frustrated.
I think you may have to just resolve this in a fanfic.
This is some bullshit fanfic right here, man.
But, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I do think that there is a certain kind of plot and cohesion now happening. Things made sense now, even though not necessarily a good sense. They have made sense, so there's been improvements.
Please explain to me how any of this makes sense. I would be so happy.
Greg, you want to take this one?
Which part?
Exactly, Greg.
What do you mean?
You can explain any of this to me and explain how any of it actually works?
By any, you mean?
The entirety, like everything we've seen.
This episode?
I think she means the entire series, but yes.
The entire series.
Many questions.
Well, I think in a nutshell, I would say this thing is all centered around, and now it's sort of become a confluence of one person's somewhat irrational, emotional actions that were done in earnest for well intentions, spiraling out of control and leading to the events of jumping universes, trying to stop the end of everything, only to arrive back home to virtually the end of everything.
Here's what I think. I think you're willing to fill in a lot of the blanks with you're willing to infer a lot of stuff that's not actually there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the difference.
Well, I think the jump in logic in terms of having everything explained versus not having everything explained.
There's a difference between not having everything explained and having enough things explained.
Right.
Like, I don't need someone to hand me a manual to the computer to understand, like, why the spore drive works.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't need someone to explain to me, like, who developed his implants on his arms.
Right.
Like there's certain things that you can accept if they give you enough to work with, and they give you nothing to work with.
But plot drive.
Okay, we haven't even established the fact, like, are people spinning around when the entire disc of the Discovery is spinning? Are they flying to the walls like the Gravitron? Like, we don't know. You know why? Because they haven't, like, there's so much shit that you're just like, all right, we'll go with it. What about the people in the hallways when it spins? Okay, it's obviously not just floating there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it being held in place by force fields when they go in and out of warp because it's not connected because it has to do its little flippy thing? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We're willing to go with it.
But you do care a lot about what happens during that process.
Yeah, you know why? Because, like, not once have they even showed any of it. But I'm willing to go with it. Why there's a cadet, like a random cadet on the ship who's in charge of everybody now suddenly for no reason, even though they're military, quote, quote.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not willing to accept that.
It would have been nice if they made her at least an ensign. Or,
she still would be outranked by literally everybody.
Or lieutenant.
You can't.
Did anybody this episode kind of wonder what happened to Useless Boyfriend?
No, you know why? Because he was fucking useless. We didn't even miss him.
Was he in sick bay this entire time?
My guess is yes.
Yeah, that's the last time we saw him. He was in sick bay.
No one cares because he's fucking useless. He serves no purpose, and obviously because nobody knows that he wasn't in the entire episode. Okay.
He was being sedated from becoming Takuma.
Really? Because I thought that
again.
they set up in the last episode that they couldn't.
Oh, Vok, right.
I thought they established that he couldn't be sedated. Okay. They had this huge revelation where she kills off what's his name and he goes back to being himself. But you know who we're not going to check in on? Useless Boyfriend. You know why? Because he doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Also, don't they have like a Klingon prisoner?
Don't worry, she shows up in the next episode.
This entire time.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit because she's not relevant to the plot right now. Don't worry about it.
I guess you're just hanging out in the brig, just waiting for her line.
Chilling with no toilet. You know who has toilets? Literally every other ship. Their brig doesn't have toilets though.
I have noticed that. That always does seem to be a significant flaw when it comes to a lot of like the
space prisons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Every other Star Trek, when they put somebody in the prison, there's like a toilet. Pops out of the wall or something. They're there. You know who doesn't have a toilet? The Discovery.
But you really, what Megan, you're saying is you were really missing that toilet in the
I'm
break?
saying that their lack of attention to detail is annoying. That's what I'm saying.
Note to self, when making Starfleet brigs, be sure to have a toilet in the brig, otherwise.
Dude, it's like against the Geneva Convention to deny rights to prisoners.
I don't need to see someone take a shit.
You don't need to see them take a shit. You just need to know that they have the option.
It's like in 24. It's like people would wonder, does Jack Bauer get a chance to pee? I was like, I don't think we care if he gets to pee. It's 24. As I would equate it to that. It's like we don't know that Jack Bauer gets to eat or take a shit during 24 hours. It's like,
well, we know she gets to eat, kind of. In theory.
Yeah. We just we assume
some chow. He never gave it to her.
It's got to happen at some point. When or how, I don't particularly care.
I'm just saying.
Maybe with like a toilet that kind of comes out of a wall or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they transport it out into space.
Yeah, it could just be teleported out, just like shit gone.
So, I take it you hit the mic there.
Yes.
I have a lot of opinions, and I give them very passionately. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
No, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying whether or not I cared about seeing it or not.
Yeah, she's not saying you're wrong or right, but whatever she is saying it quite loudly.
Yes.
Exactly. And everybody knows that the louder you are, the more correct you are.
Well, that's how we got our president.
Yeah. And that was an extra dose of politics. By the way, did you guys like the little political jab that they also threw in there?
When
they were talking about the spore drive, they were just like, well, that is totally unsustainable. They have to know that it's unsustainable. I just think in their arrogance that they don't care, that they'll think that they'll be able to solve it.
You know why?
Like,
because
why?
the actual Federation believes in sustainability.
That's true.
Oh.
So
like, I'm sorry, Saru, your Star Trek is like seeping in.
Yeah.
He's
So
gonna
basically,
get killed in the next episode.
so calling the mirror universe a bunch of just like the resource gobbling heathens. Okay. Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
Unless Lorca wasn't, but we'll never know.
Oh, poor Messiah. That wasn't really
We don't know, Greg.
the would-be Messiah,
It's the Schrodinger's Messiah.
the would-be savior.
I honestly think he would have possibly made a better emperor than Empress Jojo.
Dear Star Trek fans out there, begin your fan fictions now.
Like before this even started, just like think of what you thought
Go.
the Discovery should have been, and just write that.
Just submit your entries to John Quick
I'm
at
still hoping though. I think
1,
it would
3,
have been
4,
cool if Mirror
5.
Universe Lorca would have had an English accent.
ABC Lane.
That would have been really cool if they just had him suddenly switch Jason Isaacs and start using his accent.
It would have been great.
Malfoy! Malfoy!
So any last closing thoughts?
The special effects were great, man. The sound design was great. The score was fun.
Why are you wanting to end on a positive note?
Because I'm trying not to be a downer. I'm trying to find the good spot in this giant pile of shit.
Megan jumped on my positivity bus.
I've been trying to be positive the entire time, man. I've been searching for kernels.
This episode to me actually felt like a movie. Like it felt like a piece out of, could have been out of Star Trek Beyond, any of the previous 3 films that have come out. The scope was big. The stakes were big. However communicated they were.
We'll just agree to disagree. It's fine.
The consequences are real, and we're in it, and they're up to their necks in shit right now. They have to figure their way out. How they figure their way out is beyond me. They're gonna end up having to use Giorgio, Mirror Universe Giorgio.
What about you, John?
And
Craig?
that's going to backfire.
Horrendously.
Yeah.
And no one will have seen it coming. It's a total shock.
I had more than a few logic problems with the episode, but overall it was very entertaining. It was fluff, though. I'm going to go ahead and say I felt it was fluff. I didn't think that there was a lot of substance that was really explored. But you know what? I've been watching a lot of Star Trek Voyager, and I'm okay with Star Trek fluff.
Look, man, I'm just going to say it's definitely not the worst episode of Discovery.
That's literally probably the best compliment you've ever given this show.
I mean, at least they weren't, on some like emo planet doing emo shit, trying not to, be emo.
There's some great episodes that happened on planets.
Yes, but that emo planet wasn't one of them.
What was the emo planet?
When Saru got all emo and started like getting in touch with the planet and not wanting to leave it and be one with it or some shit.
That episode also made no sense, but we already talked about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We can only go forward.
we can only go forward.
They went way forward, 9 months forward.
And that's all.
Enough time for someone to have a mysterious baby. You think we'll see
Did
a
someone get
mysterious
pregnant?
baby?
Klingon baby? Oh, that's right. They were
Actually, I don't
shaggy.
remember what the gestation length is for a Klingon. Like the term.
But however we want to go, plot drive.